Okay, everybody, here's trade alert. As you can see, the GBP USD has hit 80 pips, but this is the 5-minute chart, and I see two arrows is slowing down. We also have an arrow on the 15. We have one on the 30, one on the 1 hour. So that means it will be making its U-turn, like I told you earlier, but that's not the point of this video. What I want to do is call out a trade so people can see what I'm talking about. So if you go down to the 15-minute chart, what do you see? I'm already in profit by 4 or 5 pips. It's just starting its ascent. And I got in this trade right here. You can see here's my line where I got in on this trade because it actually had the triple arrows, 1, 2, 3, and I'm already in profit, but we have a ways to go. And as you can see, the triple arrow also showed up on the 30-minute chart, 1, 2, 3. We have the green down here, which is saying it's a go. We have the triple arrows here, which is saying it's a go. Now, I will say that because of this, there's two different types of shapes that typically you'll see in the market, and we're going to point this one out here. Usually, sometimes you'll see that it'll create at the top. I call it the Mark Williams because M's, the shape of the M, and let's draw this in so you can actually see it. All right, let me do a different color. What's your favorite color? I wish you guys could tell me. You can't, so let's just make up a color. Let's find something bright. Let's do this blue, okay, so we can really see it. And let's increase the thickness of it so we can really see it really good. Okay, all right, so there we go. Hold on, come on, let me take this auto screen off, auto scroll. Okay, so now that's there. So as you can see here, and I'll move it over, you can see the M pattern right here. And sometimes you'll see that, which means it's what people call a retest to the top. So, you know, when it does this retest pattern, it creates an M formation right here. And then at the bottom, and as you can see it went up, came down, and went up, and then came down. So that's a mark. I call it the Mark Williams, okay? So what it could do a V straightaway, which is what it's currently doing now in a V shape, and then it just takes off. Or it could create a W pattern. Now let me see if I can find one for you guys. This is sort of like one, but for newbies, they probably wouldn't be able to see it. Talking about this one here, but you can see it went down, up, down, and then took off, which is a W pattern. Okay, let me see if I can find one a little more clear. See, this is a V straightaway, which is what I'm hoping it's going to do. See, it came down and it just shot straight up. That's called a V straightaway in a V shape, okay? But I'm looking for a W pattern. Let's see if we can find one of those real quick. Okay, this is kind of a crooked one, but you'll still be able to see it. Right here, see it came down, then it came up, then it came down again, and then it went off the charts and never came back. Okay, and hold on, come on. And as you can see, this is a crooked little W, but at the bottom, W's happen at the bottom, M's tend to happen at the top. That's why I call it Mark Williams, okay? So when you see, here's this clear M right here, as you can see that one. So you can see this here, M pattern, okay? And you can learn to spot these with your eye, but it's really something that you don't have to, because triple arrows will tell you when to get in and stuff like that. But it's just good to learn chart patterns so that you'll know what's going on. So as you can see, W at the bottom, M's at the top. So Mark Williams, okay? And I actually have a family member named Mark Williams, so he'll probably appreciate me saying that. So anyway, looking at the current trade that we're in, I'm giving you a heads up on this triple arrow for those who see this video. And right now, today, it is August 21st, and it's 12:25 a.m. Central Time. And as you can see, I've just entered the trade. I'm already up about four going on 5 pips, so not much right now. But, you know, again, I see the triple arrows on the 30-minute chart, and that's also a confirmation of the triple arrows on the 15-minute chart. And as you can see, it's taken off. And here's another thing that I do to confirm a trade when I'm about to take it and just walk away and just relax, is because also I look for the big arrow. Even if I don't see the triple arrows, I still look for the big arrow on longer time frames, such as the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily. And the further out it goes, the better I feel. So let's check in, and we see there's an arrow on the 1 hour. Let's see if there's one on the 4 hour. And sure enough, there is one on the 4 hour. Let's see if there's one on the daily. All right, so no, it's not one on the daily, and this is a good example. What you're going to look for is on the daily, there was triple arrow 1, 2, 3, and it's in the downward trend. So we know that this is probably a daily downward trend. So it could pull back to the moving averages and then continue its pattern. We don't know. We're not here to try to be, as one person said, and I'll never forget what he said, do you want to make money or do you want to be Nostradamus? I'm not trying to be Nostradamus. I just know the pattern. So seeing that this long term on the daily is in downward trend is probably just going to pull back up. How far? We don't care. I don't know. I'll just let the arrows tell me. So that means this is probably going to go up for a little while and then it'll continue the pattern. But either way it goes, what you can do, and I'm sorry for the snipples, got a little cold, but what you could do is play this until it reaches to the other side. And then when it peaks on the other side with the triple arrows to the downside, get out of this upward trade, flip it to the other side, sell it, and then just stay in it for the long haul because here it is on the daily. And let's see if we also see some arrows on the weekly. Okay, which direction does the weekly say? Well, it's kind of choppy. So weekly too far out, we won't even consider that. All right, so anyway, just want to give a trade alert. And again, this is on the USD, JPY. It's also confirmed because usually when the USD is going up, other pairs that is an inverse to it goes the other way. So as we can see here, this is the daily. So we know NZD, USD should be going up. But of course, I don't trade the daily because there's a lot more pips involved when you do it on the 1 hour and 30 minutes. But we have confirmation with the big arrow that eventually this is going to head down. Okay, so we have that as a confirmation. And then we also have, let's look at Euro USD. It's saying the same thing, it's peaking out. All right, and we don't have the triple arrows yet, but that's okay. Let's check the 5 minute on the Euro USD. And we do have triple arrows on the 5, but I don't really play that one. That's for scalpers. But either way it goes, we see exhaustion in the market. It spiked up, came back down, came back up. So now it's not running too far ahead like it was just shooting up to the moon. So that means exhaustion on that pair. And that's the 15 and the 30. And so let's check one more pair. AUD, USD, one of my favorite pairs. And as you can see, the big arrow is sitting on that one too. So across the board, any pair that's inverse and has USD at the back end of it, it's all saying that, hey, we're hitting exhaustion. One more thing I also check for is gold. Yeah, a lot of times people don't know you can trade that gold in inverse. So when the US dollar is going down, gold actually goes up and vice versa. So as you can see here, same thing that happened on the AUD USD, Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD USD, and now we're looking at gold. And as you can see, it's also showing, at least on the short term, and that's why I was saying on the short term on the 30 minute and also on the 15, it's showing that, hey, this thing may take a eventual U-tip, but we don't jump in these trades unless we see our triple arrows. Okay, so anyway, long term, as you can see across the board on the daily, you can see that the gold is going up along with all the other pairs that's going against the US dollar. But again, it doesn't go in a straight line. As you can see up here, it was choppy, it chops. So it goes up, goes down, goes up. So I'm expecting a pullback probably, and then it goes back up again. So that's all we're doing on this, is just playing the pullbacks. Okay. All right. So anyway, you've been warned. I told you. All right. Have a good night. And I'm getting me some sleep. Again, the cost of this service, as you can see, look at this beautiful M pattern. See, this is a continuation of the downward trend, but that was a beautiful M pattern. Look at that. You can see a bigger one here. Just want to bring that to your attention. And it dropped. So Mark and the W's, Williams. Okay. And that's not a William, but you get my point. Here goes to Williams. Look at that beautiful William. One. And again, you see all these different arrows. I can care less about them. Doesn't matter to me. The only ones I'm looking for is 1, 2, 3. When the big arrow, little arrow, and the yellow are together, that's when I perk up. All the rest of the stuff, I really don't care. Okay? All right. So anyway, I'm out of here. Have a good night. The cost of the program is below. A lot of you guys might say that's a little expensive. Well, think about it. How many times have you blown an account and spent way more losing money and paying these gurus and all these different things, and you haven't had any winning trades? You've been losing money out the yin yang, afraid to tell your wife or your husband about it, and you're frustrated with trading, and you still haven't learned much of anything. Wouldn't it be simpler just to be able to go to your charts like I do and be able to pull them up and let the charts tell you what it's going to do. Look at this beautiful pattern here. See, this is another EM, a sloppy one, but still 1, 2, 3, and it went down. Look at all those pips. Okay. Same thing. This spiked down, but it still was the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and it went on up. And 1, 2, 3, it went down. 1, 2, 3, and it went up. Look at that big, beautiful move there. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the upside. Then look at the 1, 2, 3 to the downside. See, wouldn't you want the charts to tell you? And see, I'm up 7 pips now as we're talking. So this is why I say invest into something that's working. 1, 2, 3, and it went down. See, I don't guess. I don't stare at charts all day. Some of you guys, you've been spending hours upon hours and days upon days studying charts, buying programs, reading books, and all this stuff. Me, I see my triple arrows and I jump in. And the worst case scenario, here's the good part, because as I teach in the program, when you actually get into the trade, and let me see if I actually followed my rule on this one. Yeah, I actually did. As you can see, when you jump into the trade, all you do is put your stop loss right below the arrow. Let's go to the 15-minute. You'll see that a little bit better. As you can see right here, all I did is you place your trade, drag the stop loss below the big arrow to protect yourself just in case there's a pullback, and then it takes off and creates that W pattern versus the V straightaway, which is currently doing. Sometimes it'll start a V straightaway, then it'll pull back, create the W pattern, and still take off. So by putting your stop loss right below here, here's the low of the move. Okay, so worst case scenario, you will get tapped out right here, but good case scenario, look at this move right here. If you was here all the way down to here, that's a huge move in itself, right? Okay, so, risk ratio, risk reward ratio. Some people want a 1-to-1, 1-to-2 ratio. No, I'm trying to do 1-to-10. Okay, so there you are. Enough for tonight. Check out the video. Don't say I didn't tell you. As you can see, I'm already in 7 pips. See, triple arrows on the 30 and the 15, and we have confirmation down here. And if you use the MACD or whatever, same thing, it just measures momentum. But at the end of the day, it's telling the truth. So I'm going to bed. The rest of you guys, you can draw your Fibonacci ratios and, do your Elliott wave and all these other things. I saw my triple arrows. They tell the truth. Hey, worst case scenario, I get tapped out right here. So no big deal. And these trades show up many times during the week. So even if I miss one trade, no big deal, because I know there's going to be plenty more always. Okay, have a good night. Hey everybody, this is just an update. It's 5:53 a.m. Central Time, 8:21. This is that trade we took on that video. We took it on the triple arrows on the 15-minute and also on the 30-minute charts, as you can see. And we are now currently up 22 going on 23 pips. So I just want to give you an update. And we're going to hold this trade because, again, the triple arrows are not on the other side, but just want to show you the triple arrows work on a live trade. So this is a beauty here, and we're going to hold it. Told you. Bye.